is this Israeli Defense Forces prison camp in northern Israel for high risk prisoners. You know, coming to mind, like, I've always thought about this kind of camp as something like Unit 731. Like, remember when the Japanese were doing human experiments on the Chinese and the prisoners of war of the Allied soldiers that they captured? This kind of always kind of like seems like similar to that kind of thing. Wow. So they just take prisoners to this concentration camp, death camp, which is interesting, right? Like, because didn't these Israelis like run away from Germany because of death camps? Okay, so to me that like it's definitely Guantanamo. Guantanamo Bay is basically a camp in Cuba where like high risk prisoners are sent to Cuba because they're outside of the jurisdiction of American courts, which means that they don't have any rights. Like you guys don't, they don't have any like political rights. Like they don't have any rights in terms of. Cells with no natural light, two smaller cells, 1.25 by 1.25 meters, heavy steel doors, black or red walls, no light. Wow, solitary confinement. This sounds like hell. Sounds like hell, basically. Did not have adequate toilet facilities, and the guards controlled the running. So you'd probably be stopped from drinking water. Extended isolation, suffocation during sleep, interrogation. Oh my god, this sounds like a nightmare. And then there's also forced sexual acts. The prisoners were not told where they were, nor were their families or lawyers. So this is like a dungeon, basically. They have no rights. My god. So I guess you know what they would say? Oh, this person's a terrorist. He doesn't deserve any rights. I mean, yeah, that's one way to dehumanize Palestinians. Just say they're terrorists and they don't have any rights because they're terrorists, right? Like you can just say that, and the world will basically, you know, accept that. Palestinians who were incarcerated there had their rights safeguarded and could meet with lawyers and Red Cross at an off-site location. The SAT stated that Israeli security secretly detains and interrogates prisoners in an unknown location called Camp 1391, without granting access to the committee, the International Red Cross, or the lawyers or relatives of the prisoners. It definitely doesn't look good, like, if you're doing this kind of stuff to people. Yeah, it seems like it's a breach of some sort of convention, United Nations Convention Against Torture. All sorts of, I mean, the Israelis don't care about international law, like, doesn't really matter to them. They don't give a fuck about international law, dude. They don't care about any of this stuff. It doesn't matter to them. Like, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You've seen what they done to Gaza, so I don't imagine that they would give a fuck about any of this stuff. I don't think they would care about any of this bullshit, man. like bullshit, it's bullshit to them. They don't think that it exists. They probably will just say, oh, it doesn't exist. It's a lie. It's fake. Wow. 62 British police compounds in Palestine in the late 1930s and early 1940s, where Arab and Jewish militants against the British occupation were interrogated. One building, Meretz, did not appear on any modern Israeli maps and was not mentioned in any Israeli security literature. Wow. So it's like a basically torture center, like those black sites, like the Americans have. Unit 731. Wow. Wow, look at this. Time and detention camp, sexual and gender-based violence against Palestinians. More human can bear Israel's systematic use, sexual abuse, torture. Their allies have always turned a blind eye to this fact. Oppression is the goal here. Wow. The goal is to make living in Palestine unbearable. The goal is to make the people too scared to be able to live, to make them seek any way out, to increase tensions, to point someone attacks the settlers or IDF, and as a retaliation for the Palestinians seeking vengeance, the settlers backed by the IDF steal dozens of homes and pieces of land, ensuring that another attack will happen, to then steal dozens of homes again. Wow, so it's like a cycle of conflict that benefits the Zionists because their supreme goal is land theft by any means. Wow. So that kind of tells you everything that you need to know in it. They're genociding the Palestinians so they can take over the land. Simple as that.